Forum goes back to I think 2002, and it goes back to the days where Wipro thought of this initiatives in school education. And at that point in time, the idea was simply this: that could we get our partners, really our partners, together in a place and try and do something very purposeful in the forum. And we had perhaps slightly grand notions about what that purposefulness was, in that if you could get a number of our partners and perhaps describe what is the kind of education that all of us subscribe to, we thought there was going to be an output from the meeting, right? And we pursued the notion of output from this meeting for about 2.5 years. And in those days, I think we were having 2 meetings a year. And with each meeting, we realized that there was no output. None at all. And I guess this went on till about 2004 end or 2005 beginning. And at that point in time, and it was not like enlightenment one night, but it sort of struck us that perhaps there's no reason for us to have this pressure on ourselves or on this meeting to really have an output. And sometime in 2006, we sort of go of the notion of having an output. And we said, why can't it just be a meeting where not just our partners, but our friends who are not necessarily partners in this initiative, and not just friends, but people who are sort of, in some senses, kindred souls about this kind of education or this kind of life, can't we get together and just chat about a few things? And I think that turned everything for this forum. So once the pressure of output was gone, it perhaps became more enjoyable, and we had perhaps more output.
Still faster. Thumbs up. Thumbs in. Elbows up. Elbows in. Feet apart. Jump up.
And conferences, but the few I've been to, this is the first time I've been given 1 hour. Otherwise, it's this big thing. Oh, Western Ghats, conservation, community participation, this, that, education. 10 minutes, huh? Please. Wind up.
That long slot is almost.
No teacher will be deployed for any non-educational purposes other than this population census, disaster relief duties, or duties related to elections to the local authority, state legislatures, or parliament. बाकी क्या रह गया?
The verifiability as a notion emerges because history developed in an era, a modern history developed in an era which celebrated science, and science became the paradigm of all knowledge. Thomas Kuhn and post-Kuhn, we know that even scientists know and believe that facts within science acquire meaning only within specific paradigms. In history, this does not really happen. That is, in sciences, there is a displacement of paradigms. In history, there is a battle for paradigms.
आपका अलग आप ही का अनुभव अकेला अनुभव नहीं है ना। मैं ही कहूंगी कि इस तरह का चाहे हम लोग प्राशिका में किए, इस तरह के सब में जिस स्टेट के कल्चर का जितना अपना अनुभव है, मध्य प्रदेश में कोई भी आप एबीएल करिए, प्राशिका करिए, कोई भी करिए, आपको दावे से 20 से 25 क्रिएटिव टीचर्स जो आपकी बात भी नहीं सुनेंगे और अपने क्लासरूम में करेंगे मिलेंगे। और मेरा ऐसा एहसास है कि तमिलनाडु या केरला या हिमाचल प्रदेश जैसी जगहों पे शायद वो 35 या 40% तक होगा, और उससे ज्यादा नहीं मिलेंगे, ये भी है।
Now open to questions. But one request, think about your question before you speak, keep it to 3 sentences and don't use anecdotes.
Sorry, Venu, I broke all your books.
I expected that.
Since Venu's rules are already broken by CP, so they are not applicable on me.
We appreciate that in the area, particularly of education, change does not take place fast. It requires horsepower, it requires perseverance, it requires sustainability, and it requires a very strong unition of direction in terms of what we're trying to do. We appreciate that for us to be really effective and for us to scale, we have to work with partners, and which is why many of you are here today, is that without partners we have no reach, and without partners we don't have the breadth of expertise which we think is essential for us to be successful in what we are doing and what we are trying to do. We appreciate the support we are receiving from our partners. Thank you all for being here.